fighting with my brother about which fruit would win if they were sentient and could fight. My wife and I got into a screaming match because our broccoli wasn't growing as well as we thought it should, and clearly it was the other person's fault. I was living with a buddy and we were getting on each other's nerves. One night we were arguing about whether to break spaghetti noodles in half. I finally said, you cook yours your way broken and I'll cook mine unbroken. He took half the spaghetti from the package and broken the noodles in half, put them in boiling water and started stirring while I stood there with the package. Mostly we glared at each other, then he reminded me to add my half to the pot. After I did it, then he thought of something. How are we going to separate the long noodles from the short ones? When I was 6, my friend and I stood facing each other arguing about which hand was your left and which was your right. It took us about 5 minutes to realize that when standing opposite someone, your left side is the right. I had an ex argue with me over which would weigh more, a pound of bricks or a pound of feathers. We went back and forth forever while I tried to explain it to her. It did not help when her mother chimed in with, what about a pound of wet feathers? The apple does not fall far from the tree. Way back when I was a phone service advisor for a credit card company, this lady called in confused as hell about a piece of mail we had sent her. I don't understand why you sent me a bill. I paid for the TV at the store with my card. Yes ma'am, now this is the bill for using your credit card. But I used my credit card. Why would I have to pay again? This went on for about a good hour. This poor excuse for an adult believed that a credit card with just an all-access pass to buy anything you wanted for free. That was a devastating job. At the olive bars at grocery stores you can buy these cherry peppers that are stuffed with prosciutto and cheese. Well, my dad and I love them things, and one day he bought a bunch of them. Through the course of the week we ate them all, except one, which sat in the container for 3 days, uneaten. So I ate it, and that's where I went wrong. 2 weeks went by before my dad would speak to me again, simply because I ate the last pepper before he did. That if you go on someone's property, you're their property. Needless to say, he isn't very bright. He's locked up in my garage now. That lake water is wetter than pool water. Someone told me my dad is better than your dad when my dad was clearly the superior one. Any of the rhetorical theoretical arguments my wife and I have from time to time. For example, we recently had an argument about how we would furnish the non-existent hypothetical 8-bedroom mansion we would live in if we were billionaires. She wanted it to be full of antiques. I wanted a stylish and futuristic minimalist theme. Edit. Thanks for all your responses. I like how you're all weighing in with what you would do in this completely hypothetical and vastly unlikely scenario. She got pissed at me because I was mean to her in a dream. My college roommate and I didn't speak for 3 weeks because of an argument regarding toilet paper roll placement. It started off as a discussion, then an argument, then to the point where he called my sister a whore and I broke his wrist. Over. It goes over. All I can imagine in this argument. Over. Under. Over. Under. Over. Your sister's a whore. Snaps wrist. And then the badass one-liner. Looks like this argument is over. Friend farts. Me. Did you just fart? Friend. No I didn't. Me. Yes you did. Friend. No I didn't, you fucking liar. Silence, only a horrible smell. He was the only one with me in that room and he's known for lying. A woman I used to work with at a university got into an argument with me because she didn't believe that the different races of humans were in fact the same species. Her final argument: you're wrong. It's like whites and Native Americans are just like fish and dolphins. They're both in the ocean but not the same species. Now do you get it? No, not really. And not at all coincidentally, this was the worst group of co-workers I have ever had. That's not his real name or what I call him, but people get so weird about real names. Was she a plantation owner from the 1800s? No, because plantation owners from the 1800s knew that if you had sex with a female slave she got pregnant, which means you're the same species. Basically this woman was too racist to effectively own slaves.